Hello everybody and welcome back to SkySaga Alpha 8. We are over here in the Wastelands and obviously looking up to the right over there I have islands that I still need to clear out. Damn, I thought that I'd gone through and done all of those. Anyway, that's something that we might have to do in this episode. Anyway, the very first thing I wanted to talk to you guys about was actually to do with this island. Now, I want you guys to help out with the naming of this island. So in the comments below, I've got two title deeds here. Either vote for one of these two or find something on the wiki and tell me that that's the way we should name this thing. And I'll work my absolute hardest to get the name that you guys suggest. So the one I've got right now are Chasm and Dungeon. And I like both of those a lot because Chasm is obviously what this thing is, but also it is kind of sort of a dungeon as well because it is, at the moment at least, it is the main landmark to a Wastelands biome. So I like both of those, but like I said, let me know in the comments down below what you think this place should be named. And if you don't like either of those, find something on the wiki. There'll be a link to the name list on the wiki. Find something in that list and tell me what you think this place should be named, because I'm going to leave this up to you guys. Now, there hasn't actually been all that much done since the last time we were here, so just for those of you who need a bit of a quick refresher, last time we did some lighting with the candles. We built this entire dining hall, which I think is still really, really awesome. We also built a little kitchen out over there through those windows that needs chests and a few other bits and pieces in it yet. We also came up here and built some more cave systems, which, once again, this place in here needs a little work. This lighting system needs to be changed over to the candles. And then we also did another cave over this way. Lots and lots of caves going on around here because, of course, this is a bit of a cavey build. But yeah, so we did another cave over this way. And this cave is the subject of today, basically, because we're going to go through and build some sleeping quarters. We're going to put some barricades and stuff around it here. We're also going to open this cave out a little bit because at the moment it's a little bit claustrophobic and not exactly fun. So we're going to open this guy out just a lot and add a few different bits and pieces in here, and add some barricades and a few other bits and pieces around the place, just to kind of stop you from being able to just waltz on through here without a care in the world. I think is going to be the plan. So we're going to put a big barricade there or something that will let us kind of go through this way to get down into the next section. Anyway, that's just kind of a little bit of thought and planning, so I need to move on and do that. Also, actually, one thing has happened. Put down a little bit of gravel around here, because obviously I've been doing the Ice Masteries, the Arctic Masteries, in the Mastery, the questing episodes every week. And in the Arctic, there is a layer of snow, and then there is a layer of gravel. So I've kind of inadvertently picked up a fair amount of gravel. I mean, that doesn't look like a whole lot compared to the size of this island, but that is about 150, 200 pieces of gravel. So obviously we're going to have to go back to the Arctic and find some more gravel at some point to kind of fill the rest of this place out. But of course, I will do all of that collecting and stuff off camera. Do need to go up there and clean out those islands, bring them back down to the nice stone texture that we're using everywhere else. I also kind of want to work a little bit on the lava again this episode. These lava pits don't really seem to be working for me too well right now, so we'll have to see what we can do about those. Anyway, let's get cracking. I think the first thing we're going to do is we're going to try out a few little bunk spaces down in here. Okay, so this cave is starting to look a whole lot better, and I've realized that's because I'm getting a lot more kind of like grim atmosphere out of these red candles. So I did have a couple of orange and yellow candles down through this cave, and they really just, they kind of gave too much light, I guess, and they gave the wrong color. So it meant that things were being illuminated more brown than the kind of burnt amber type color that I'm getting now. And yeah, it was just, it didn't look quite as good. So I've stuck with the red candles, and I'm actually going to change out all of the candles in this entire build for red candles, because I think it's going to make it look really, really quite cool, actually. And then obviously we've also done a little bit down here as well, so I've got a nice little like smoke effect puff coming up out of the floor. Now, as you can see, that floor section is still natural. So how I've done this is I've actually kind of sort of cheated a little bit. There is a groundwood brazier down there, but I've put it in through this hole in the ground here. So this was already a hole, and I basically just filled that hole up with sand, and so it makes it a little bit less obvious. And I've done the same thing over here. So we're going to be doing a little bit of this type of stuff, getting a bit of cave ambience going on, and yeah, trying out a few of these little tricks. I'm also probably going to start doing floor braziers, not floor braziers, fire pits, and throwing some red ones in as well, because I think that's going to look really, really awesome. So obviously the next thing is to update and change all of these guys. So these need to be changed over for red candles. I think we're going to go red candles in the like natural cave system, so stuff like this guy, but then we are going to do kind of more yellow and orange candles in other sections. So down like where that is, basically we need to do a swap of these two candles. We want the red one up here where we've got the natural stone, and then we want the orange one down here where we've got the kind of place stone and steps and things like that. So we might even throw a few candles down in here somewhere, maybe put a couple on the tables just to add a little bit of extra light to this build. Just kind of give off a nice little effect there too. So I think that's looking quite good. We're going to, like I said, keep going and adding all of these things in as I go through and do different bits and pieces around here. But for now, like I said, I want to go through, change up the ones that I've already done. So get rid of this guy, place in a set of red candles here. Nice. So this place is actually it's starting to look pretty good. It's starting to look very close to the vision of it that I have in my head at all times. So I like this. I like this a lot. We're actually getting somewhere. It's really, really exciting. So yeah, let's crack on and move on to the other cave over there. Alright, so this cave, I've decided to go a little bit backwards. So I've started with the bottom section of the cave down here, and I've just kind of hollowed this out and dug it down a little bit, as you can see, so it gives it a nice kind of open feel. I've also put up a little barricade between us and the doorway here, so the doorway goes down on through into a room that is not yet finished. And at the moment, I've actually realized I don't have any of the recipes that I need to make these areas. So I've got this hammock, but that's about it. Now, the hammock, as you can see, is very, very expensive. It's 4 carved wood, 6 rope, 6 sheet, and 6 strip. And that is a lot of fabric. That is just an insane amount of fabric. And on top of that, because it is, I think, a purple decor item, it means that it's also got settler's dust in it. So those things are just way, oh no, here we go, blue. So it's still got settler's dust in it, but just the lesser type of settler dust. So those things are a little bit painful. Now I'm looking through and I'm trying to find some other stuff that I could potentially use. There's like bedding, but at the moment I'm not really seeing a whole lot in my inventory. I mean, I could start putting down simple wooden beds, but I really don't want to do that either. Mostly because these guys take 24 feathers, and that's just a lot of feathers as well. So it's kind of one of those things where I may end up having to build these rooms and have everything else set up, and then we'll have to come back to this at a later date to actually add in all of the decor that needs to go into these bad boys. But yeah, because like for right now, like I said, I can't really see anything that I actually have that I could potentially use to do this. So it's one of those things. It's probably just going to have to be a wait until we get the recipe that we need type deal. Now we do have a few tables and things, so we're probably going to end up putting some tables into the dining hall area at the end of this episode, or sometime pretty soon actually, because this place down here does pretty much need something along those lines. Just up on this little like plateau section up here, we're probably going to put down a few dining tables or something along those lines. I'm not really sure yet, but those 2x2 tables would probably be perfect actually, because yeah, this guy's 4x4, which means we can put the tables down and we can put a couple of chairs down and it will actually look pretty good, I think. So I think I might even just do that next. And there it is. The actual table is now in place. Now I do want to put some stuff on top of this table at some point in the future, but I don't currently have the recipes. A lot of the stuff that's going on right now, recipes are a big problem for me. I don't have all of the recipes I need to complete this build, so I'm going to have to do lots of work off camera, just kind of power leveling my settler and stuff, trying to get a few more recipes here and there. So not only have I put the table in place, we've now done a little bit more work on the other side of the canyon over there, or the ravine, or whatever we're going to call this guy. So if we come across here, we'll have a look in here. I've now changed out the lighting sources to be all of the candles again, so everything is on the same track. Now down here, I've also actually finished out this little room in here. There's obviously some blocks and stuff that will disappear as I phase out and phase back into this island. But this is the basic shape and the basic structure, so there's going to be kind of bunks of some description lined up on the walls over here. I don't quite know exactly how that's going to go down and how that's going to work yet, but it is going to go in there. Once again, it's a case of I don't have the recipes that I need to go through and do this, so it's going to be a little bit of work off camera to get a few of those bits and pieces. Now, I think I might need to tidy this place up a little bit because it is getting a little difficult to get through here. That will make life a lot easier. One of those things about doing kind of natural builds like this is not only do you need to have it look natural and rugged, but you also need to think about how people are going to move through the space, which is a little bit interesting. Also, this place is probably going to get opened up again like this one. So this one I kind of dug down and dug back a little bit and kind of opened it out a little bit. So this cave in here, I might do the same. We might open up the ceiling and knock out a little bit of the floor potentially. Also, there is another little room down here, so this has got a little bit of a kink in it. And then we've got another room. So this is another room of the same size because these two things are going to be identical. There's also going to be a third one out over here somewhere. I think this is going to be my entrance to the third one through here. I hope that's given me enough room to actually put one of these things in, because this guy actually does come out a fair way. This little kink in the wall is actually to do with the fact that this wall is shared. This wall is actually shared out with the armory from earlier in this season. So as you can see, have a look in through there, bit of a barrel going on. But I think that's actually kind of cool, and I like that a little bit because it means that this place is starting to feel a lot more like an actual adventure, because of course actual adventures do that all the time. The bits and pieces that they are made up of kind of twist and curve around, and all the time you'll see one wall matching onto another wall of just another section further up the adventure. So that is perfectly fine, and I am quite happy with that. As I mentioned, I need to go through and pick up a few more recipes so I can actually get this guy starting to look half decent. Anyway, I think we're actually probably going to have to leave that here for this week, because unfortunately it is a very short one. I know it's just the fact that I've been sick and haven't really had a whole lot of time to be building, so I'm probably going to do a little bit of work off camera and all of that kind of stuff. I also do have a public holiday where I am coming up quite soon, which means that I do have a little bit more time to go through and do some work on this place. So I think we're going to go and collect some gravel, because the next episode I want to keep working on here. I have a really cool plan for the next little cave. Obviously, if I can get those recipes, I will start doing up the recipes and stuff over there. But I also want to start terraforming the top out here. I want to start adding down more gravel and kind of making the landscape change and undulate and do weird and interesting things, just to make this look a little bit better and make it look a little bit different on the map. Because of course right now we've kind of got this little bit of a disc going on, and while that's okay, I don't want to keep that forever. I also do need to go get some more red, yellow, and orange sand so we can fill out the rest of this place and hopefully make this thing start looking really, really awesome. I think the plan is to, at this point in time, put this up for Boomkin to come and have a look at it next Friday, which I think from memory is the 17th. So hopefully we can get all of that done and we can have Boomkin come over here and have this place look absolutely amazing, or at least better than it does right now. So once again, sorry for the short episode. It was because I was sick this week. I hope you guys have enjoyed that one anyway, and I will see you in the next episode.